Hi, ladies. It's Sandra Lee from Women on Transition. And this week we're going to be sharing about how you can develop lasting positive habits. It's so easy in life just to slip back and step out of a pathway we're determined to follow, losing weight or challenging ourselves to maybe take on something, a new adventure or something that's out of our comfort zone. And when we don't keep doing things consistently, we can fall back into traps of our old way of doing things. So I'm going to share some ideas and strategies, practical ones, that you can use every day in your life and help you get out of maybe a rut. Or if you do find you're on a good pathway for a few weeks or a few days and then suddenly you slip, it's hard to get back on the horse, back on the good path. So here's a few ideas and we're going to take you through them now. So as we roll, I'm just going to ask you to, just enjoy, think about where you're at in your life, what goals you're setting yourself at the moment, and things that you're doing to move further towards them, because you're either moving towards your goals or you're moving away from your goals. There's no in the middle. You can't just pause and not do anything, because just at doing that, it's moving you away from your goals. So this is really powerful, and it's really important as you go through. It's time to take control of your life and choose to live as a victor. Discover how to cultivate the habits that will lead you to a fulfilling and an empowered life. And, you're either that victor or victim. And you can be a victim of your circumstances. I heard the story just this week of one of the beautiful clients. She had a car accident. A lady had T-boned her car. She'd done nothing wrong. This lady had gone through a T-junction, and as she'd gone through, she had this whole moment of life going through, and she said, I could either step away from that and look at all the positive things, that no one was hurt, I might get a new car out of it, everyone's all right, and or I could have gone, something terrible happened to me today and I'm not able to drive again. Or so this is what happens in all parts of our life. It's up to us. When something comes along, your day is going to start off just as you planned. You wake up, you get out of bed, and then it's raining, so you don't go for your walk. Or friends turn up and they're bringing a bottle of champagne, but you decided that you weren't going to drink. Or so these things can be sabotaging our plans. So it's up to us as a victor to go, you know what, I'm still going to go anyway. I'm just going to grab the umbrella, or I'm going to go somewhere that's undercover and walk in a treadmill, or I'm going to, when my girlfriends come, have a bottle ready of something that I can drink and make a beautiful no alcohol mojito that's got soda water in it and got fresh mint. So these are the things that we can set up to be that victor or the victim. And why habits matter for success and well-being. The most successful people across the globe have good, healthy habits that they do every day. They do get up early. They do be consistent, and they do show up. And you can see they get the results, not just in their work life, but in their personal life as well. So number one is unlocking that potential. Positive habits create a ripple effect, amplifying your success and bringing that lasting joy. This is how you show up. How you do little things is how you do everything. And when people say to me, I just do this wrong, but everything else I do right. Well, you can't take shortcuts in life. You have one go at it. And it's so important that we live it full and live it right. And we are going to get off our little track at times and fall off the wagon in a way. But then the next day it's up to us. If we're on a pathway of eating healthy and no sugars, and we have something that's naughty, then the next day it's about us waking up and going, you know what, I'm going to be kind to myself and patient. Yesterday I did have a bit of a break from my consistent habits, but today I'm going to wake up and get back on track. Reducing stress. By creating healthy routines, you'll eliminate the constant decision fatigue. So if you know what you've got planned and you've already got it mapped out and you just got to get on with it, the framework's there, it's so much easier. And something that I do in the morning is I actually put my clothes out for my walk the night before. My joggers, I know where they are. They're in the garage because they're usually dirty. But my clothes, they're sitting on a chair, and I've got my sports bra and all the things all ready to go. So when I wake up in the morning and it's cold or wet or dark and I'm fumbling around. I don't need that. I can eliminate something that's causing a stress that might be also a reason not to go for a walk. So it's all there, and I go outside and the dog lead's there. My Teddy's always waiting for a walk. So he's there obviously at my feet impatiently. And so these are the things that it's about reducing stress. Same if you're going on to you think, right, this week I'm going to go on a specific, eating plan. And it might be that you want to go onto a high protein or a low carb or whatever it is. Go out on Sunday, buy your chicken or buy whatever you want to, buy your beans and prepare, get your meals ready and get planning. And if you want to budget, get your cash out of the bank or work out what you need this week and put that much money in your purse and only spend that or your wallet. So this is really important, that when we plan, we're more successful, and it makes a massive difference. Increase confidence. Breaking free from old patterns and embracing new habits boost your self-belief, because when you achieve little things, it gives you the confidence to achieve the big things. When we do little stuff right and we go through and we go, oh, we've dropped 2 kilos this week, or oh, we were able to go to the pool and get into our cozy and swim a lap or walk a lap, and we did it. Next time we go, we'll be more confident to do it. So little things that we do increase our self-confidence and self-belief in ourselves that we can do big stuff. And those things aren't always related. It could be that we can ask for a pay rise at work or we can ask for something else in our life, because it's like a balloon confidence. It doesn't just go up in one bit. It goes up around completely. So as you put the confidence in, you're blowing it in there, the whole balloon's expanding. The whole confidence, zone of your life is expanding. And that's a pretty cool place to be. So there's 3 things that I want to share with you, and it's a bit of a science behind the habit of formating and formation of these healthy habits. So one is cue. It's a trigger that prompts the behavior, and it could be a specific time, place, or emotion. So it can work both ways as well. It can be that it could be 5 o'clock on a Friday, and the trigger or the cue could be, oh, I'm ready for a drink. And my goal this week was to have an alcohol-free week. So that there can just be that time, place, or vibe. Or it could be that, at 6 o'clock in the morning and my alarm's gone off and I'm triggered to jump out of bed, but suddenly it's 6:25 because I've kept pushing snooze, and it's now to 6:25 and I'm not going to go to the gym now because I was going to get out at 6. So these consistent triggers are really important to stick to, because they do make a massive difference. And I always found having a gym buddy or walk buddy, or having somebody that was a personal trainer that I had to show up for and on a certain time made a massive difference. So I showed up at the gym because I had a class booked, I'd paid for it, or a Pilates class, and it made me, and I'm talking more health stuff, but certainly habits work in all areas of your life. It could be your time management at work, that you don't take a lunch break. Well, this is about you setting an alarm that you do it goes off 10 minutes before you need to take a break, so you can shut down, emails, finish off phone calls, and actually get off your chair or walk out of an office or walk outside and get a bit of fresh air and a bit of breathing and a bit of grounding. Routine, the actual behavior or action you perform, this is what you're aiming to change. So that 21 days to create a healthy habit, some of you might have even read that book. And I remember hearing years ago from this amazing speaker, and it was Peter Daniels, and he said the 21 days to create healthy habits. He said, he was, as a young guy, he was about in his early 80s when he was sharing this story, and he's a billionaire. He made his money from gold, and he had a journey in his life, and he couldn't read or write. He ended up making his money from memorizing numbers and figures, and realizing he was good at it, and ended up going into trading and then into gold trading. And he said, I was so determined that I had to set up healthy habits, that he said, because I just wasn't succeeding in areas of my life, in my health, in my work in particular, and in his business. And he said, so I set myself a goal that I had to do the same thing for 21 days. And he said, I got to day 19 and something happened. It could have been that, maybe he got sick, he had the flu, and he said, so suddenly I was off track for that week. And he said, when I got back on track, he said, right, I had to start my 21 days from day one from today and go another 21 days. And I got to day 20 and something happened. And so he said, I was so committed that I had to do something for 21 days straight to call it a habit. And it does shift that conscious thinking and conscious action into a subconscious. And that's when you get the real results. So this is that routine. It's so powerful. And the reward, this is a bit I like, the positive outcome or feeling you experience after meeting the routine and achieving it. And it reinforces the habit. So it might be a reward that you've got ahead, that you, maybe if it is a health or weight goal, that you've got something coming up that you want to, a wedding, or that you want to fit into a certain dress, or you want to look a certain way or feel a certain bit of energy. For me, it was to do, my husband and I did a 200K bike ride. Yes, crazy, I know. We did it for charity. We did it for cancer research. And so I knew that I had to do the work beforehand and do the training. And so we set up the routine and rhythm that we would do we did every day we rode, but we did certain distances every day. So some days I just did 10Ks, some days we did 22, and other days on the weekend in particular, we do a bigger ride, like a 50 or 60 kilometer ride. So the reward when we finished and we did the 200K bike ride, we went out and we had this, just amazing night out. We went and had dinner and we spoiled ourselves and had a really lovely, but it could be fish and chips on the beach, or it could be going and buying yourself something, a beautiful spa treatment or a day spa massage. It could be that you just go and give yourself an at-home bath with some really beautiful magnesium or bubble bath. I actually had one of those after the bike ride as well. So the three components of habit loop. So the cue, routine, and reward that we just spoke about. So we're going to dig into these just a little bit more. So the cues, think about the triggers that cue your current habits, both positive and negative. Identifying these triggers is the first step to change. So what are the triggers? What are the things that we feel like? Many years ago when I was much younger, I smoked. Most of my friends smoked, and most of the people I knew. I'm not proud of it now. Certainly at the time, it just was what it was. I was born and grew up in the 80s and born in the 60s, and certainly it was something that was not frowned upon like it is today. So if you're my generation, you might relate to that, but certainly we didn't even think about quitting, because we just thought by the time, we're going to have kids, or, they'll have found a cure, or, we wouldn't die of cancer because they would have found a cure by then, but obviously they haven't. And quitting is really important to do. So for me, I found that each time I smoked, I wanted a cigarette, I had a cup of coffee. So I'd make a coffee in the morning and I really wanted a cigarette. So I used to, when I decided that I was going to, and I had quit during my two kids as well. I quit for my first one was 18 months, I quit. And then the second kid, I quit for 12 months. And then I still kept smoking again, because I just thought, well, I'll just have one, and then you get back into a habit and you just have a lot. And so I found too, I had a work ute, because I was working in an agriculture area that was my own business. I would smoke in the ute, which is terrible to do. And I would hop in there, and as soon as I started driving out of town and hit a certain sort of like the 80 kilometers time speed zone, I would look for my cigarettes in the dash or the glove box and light a cigarette. So it was just the cue. They were cues for me: coffee, hopping in the ute, heading out of town. So these are things that I had to change the cue. So instead of having coffee in the morning, I used to change it. I used to go and actually go for a walk, and then I came back and I had a cup of tea, which wasn't as pleasurable for a while, but it certainly, so I reset my cue thinking so that it wasn't reaching out for a coffee. And when I hopped in the car, I went a different way. I used to drive out of town differently. The other thing I did was I put in my head that I wasn't quitting smoking. I was going to be a non-smoker. And so when people ask me, you're at one of those events and like a wedding or a function or a conference, and there's a few smokers going outside. Well, my people knew that I was a smoker. So they'd say, oh, you're coming outside. And I'd say, No, I'm a non-smoker. So I never used to go down the path of quitting or trying or getting, not doing it tonight. Or I say, and that was the pivot point for me that enabled me to actually walk away completely, 100%, with never taking a puff again. So routine, this routine is the action you take. It could be a healthy habit like going for a walk, or an unhealthy habit like scrolling social media. So I love those reels. They have the cooking. I start looking and I think, oh, what am I going to cook for tonight? And it's got roast pumpkin with a beautiful salad on there. And I'm looking at the next one coming through. And then suddenly in like an hour's just gone. So this is really important that you look at, if you've got a focus there of what you want to achieve, be focused on that, because then your mind doesn't slip into the social media equivalents of things that are wasting time and wasting your focus and energy as well. And the reward is the feeling you experience after completing the routine. This can be physical, emotional, or mental. And the more positive the reward, the stronger the habit. So for me, if I was going to be going to a special event, my reward would be that I'd get myself a new dress and I'd wear that and I'd feel wonderful and fabulous, obviously, in it, because I looked healthy and amazing because I just achieved a health goal. Or it could be something years ago when we were doing different property rentals or renovations, I would buy something for myself, but for the house. So it would be, I'd go and splurge on cushions or, new bed linen or something that I really wanted, but didn't need to have, but really wanted to have. So it was a way of me going, hey, if I achieve this and work hard, then I can go and get this at the end, which was a real motivator for me. So whatever's your motivator, might not be these things, but find out what it is. What is it that juices you up? It gets you excited. Maybe it's that day spa that you can just hide and relax and chill and recharge in. So these are some practical tips to build positive habits. And, many people say, I just don't even know where to start. Like I'm so busy. I'm so overwhelmed. My life is in so much chaos. Well, I say start small. Don't feel like you've got to take on, everything all at once. Start with one thing. And if you can just change one thing this week, maybe this month, change another thing maybe next month. If you want to get up and go for a walk in the mornings, just do that. It doesn't have to be that and the gym and Pilates and, no sugar and everything all at once. Next week or next month, drop something else off. Ideally next week, it starts moving things quicker. So next week you might say, right, I'm going to have no processed foods. Or next week you might be, right, I'm going to turn up to work 10 minutes early so I don't feel like I'm in a race when I rock up and I've got everything all over the place and I'm not organized. Or I'm always going to, set my alarm so that I know when my appointments are. Like start small, but just do one thing at a time. And be consistent. Consistency is a key. Practice your new habit consistently, even if it's for a short period, and build that momentum off the back of it. That 21 days, just think, oh, it's only 17 days in, and really powerfully actually count. Put it in your calendar. Today, boom, first day walking, and you can start tracking. My mantra is I can't manage what I can't measure or don't measure. So if you're not measuring what's going in and out of your bank account, you're not going to budget. If you don't measure what money you're spending on coffee each week and bought lunches, then you're not going to be able to work out how much you can save or how much things are costing you. So you can't manage things that you're not measuring. So your success and your achievements along the way, they're rewarding, and it rewards yourself to help reinforce positive behaviors. So just keep going with these rewards, because I like a reward. So it motivators. There's two motivators in the world. One's pain and fear. So that's a reward moving away from something. And then, that you and the fear of maybe, if you getting sick or something, so you might trigger you to start doing something physically healthy or eating better or losing, reducing your cholesterol, or it could be something that a reward could be reward and recognition. So that's moving towards something. So it's giving yourself praise, reward, acknowledging that, hey, I've done a pretty good job here and I deserve to go out and have a really good night, or deserve to be sitting in this bath with a glass of champagne and some bubbles. So overcoming habit building challenges, procrastination, that's a big one we hear all the time. Set realistic goals and break down large tasks into smaller, manageable steps. That elephant, it's, how do I lose 20 kilos? Well, you're not going to lose it overnight unless you have surgery, and even then you probably won't. So it's really important that you go, okay, well, I can lose 1 kilo a week, and 1 kilo a week in 20 weeks. 20 weeks goes past in a heartbeat. How quick does time go? So just set realistic goals and break down large tasks into smaller, manageable steps. How can I save $20,000? Well, I don't even know how. But if I start taking out maybe just 5% of what money I'm earning and put it into a bank account before I spend the rest, that 5% is going to add up pretty quick. Lack of motivation. Find ways to make the habit enjoyable or connect it to something you value. So motivation, being consistent, and being motivated at the same time is the challenge, because it's what's driving you. What's your why? Why do you want to get up, and why do you want to do more? And my big thing is, if you've got money, you can give money. You can't give money if you haven't got it, but you can't give energy either if you don't have energy, and you can't give love if you don't have self-love, and you can't give if you don't have. So you have to start with building you first, and then you can give from that source. So fill your cup with all the good stuff, and all the good stuff comes from consistent good habits. And setbacks and slip-ups, we all make them. I make lots. So don't be discouraged if you slip up. Acknowledge the setback, learn from it, and get back on track. Know that you've, had a day, and you think, just everything's gone into a basket. So just the next day, just get up and wake up and get back on track, get back on the bike, and just start all over again. So this monitoring the progress, I touched on, you can't manage what you can't measure. And this is tracking your progress. Use a calendar, journal, or app to track your daily progress. When we were doing the bike riding, we downloaded one of the, it was a track app so that we could see how many Ks we'd done each time we'd ridden. It kept track of all our rides. It showed us we did like 12K ride. Plus it showed us what altitude or steepness we'd gone to, and also what type of track even we were being on. So it's a lot of help, because we got back and it helped keep us motivated. We were like, wow, we've done 50 Ks this week, and until we could build up to doing 50 Ks a day. So these were things that kept us going. And if you're starting, you think, I'm going to start running, right? So today you might just start jogging and you go 200 meters, but the next day might be 500, next day 7, next day 1.5 kilometers. So these are the things that keep you motivated when you look back and you think, oh, last week I couldn't even run 1K and now I'm running 2. And it helps you stay accountable, and it helps you visualize your achievements and celebrate milestones. Acknowledge your successes, no matter how small they seem. Positive reinforcement helps keep you motivated instead of saying, oh, I'm doing okay, but I could be doing better. Well, sure, you could be maybe doing better, but you're doing the best you can, and you're being consistent, and you're showing up, and you're back on track each day when you fall off. Be proud of that, and be self-proud, and acknowledge yourself for that, and be kind to yourself, and speak kindly about yourself. And bring your family and friends in. Join a group, join a support group. There's nothing better than doing things with a few of your girlfriends. I know myself, I struggle sometimes to catch up with some of my girls. And so I said to two actually just recently, hey, can we meet up instead of having a coffee and lunch and lots of alcohol? Can we go and have a walk? Because I'm, on a bit of a health fit kick, and I just thought it was a good chance to spend time hanging out with them, going for a 10K walk. We spent an hour just sort of chatting, and it was really beautiful. We did stop for a coffee, and it was just, special time. So what is it that helps keep you motivated, and what are some of the things that you're doing that you could swap into something else that would be serving your goals a bit more, moving you towards them? So maintaining these habits in the long term, flexibility and adaptation. So it's easy to keep it for 3 weeks, maybe 21 days, or maybe even 3 months. But then, 7 months in, you think, oh, I was walking every day, but winter's come and I haven't walked for a while. Be flexible with your habits and adapt to changing circumstances. Life is full of surprises. We all know that, don't we, ladies? So be prepared to adjust your routine as needed. For me, mine was traveling. I travel a lot, and, different times in my life for my work, I was traveling up to 50 and 60% of my time. So going in and out of airports and hotels and eating lots of food and lots of events and late nights because of work, I found it really hard to keep routines up. So sometimes I would slip and I would have a couple of days while I was traveling that I wasn't doing any jogging. I was jogging then, wasn't doing any jogging. But when I got home, I just picked it up and thought, right, I'm as tired as I am, as jet lagged as I am. I'm just going to get up and go for, if I can't do a run, I'll do a walk. And it might have only been at half pace and half the distance, but it did help me get back on track and get grounded again. Continuous learning. Stay curious and open to new ideas and strategies for building habits. There's always something new to discover. There's always ways that you could be doing things better, different. Great. Look at shoes. If you've got problems with your ankles or knees, maybe there's ways that you could be running differently. I know years ago, I had one of my personal trainers was he was a jogging specialist. So he worked with people that were wanting to go back to running after they were told because of knee surgery or different injuries they could never run again. And he taught them techniques that they could actually run, and proper techniques that the Olympians use. So the ability for you to be able to go and, do things that are slightly different. It's like playing golf. It's always things that you can change that can make a big impact on your hit and on your impact. So nurture a positive mindset and maintain your motivation. Just remember back when you first started this journey and how much better and how much greater you're feeling. And that journaling can actually be part of that. You could be writing down, today it's the 14th of November. I'm feeling really tired. I'm feeling really flat. I'm feeling a bit frumpy. I'm feeling a bit demotivated. I'm feeling a bit sad. I'm feeling a bit, whatever it is, just share. And then you can keep tracking your progress as you go along once you've started your habit, and seeing how that much has changed over time. 3 months from today is the 14th of February. So work out what your 3 months is. It's Valentine's Day. So what are you going to do that's going to be a bit of self-love in there as well? And what are the next steps? Well, taking action, first step. You're the cusp of transforming your life. Embrace your power because you have it, and to choose positive habits and watch as they create a ripple effect in all areas of your life. And ladies, all you have to do is you're one call away from, having support and having somebody there that can be your, not just accountability buddy, but really help you grow your mindset and grow your thinking, and maybe help with you with some of the things that have been self-sabotaging, and certainly grow and how to jump over those roadblocks and race ahead in life and live your own life on your terms and have an amazing one. Ladies, this is Sandra Lee signing out, and have an amazing week ahead. All the best, and start some new habits. Take action.